Okay. So you need a lot of freedom of thought and the freedom to innovate so that you can use the memory. I'm not saying that this is bad, but it should not lock this up. This is also very important. But gradually, with the new national education policy that is coming up, you must have heard of the NEP 2020.
No, sir.
Okay. So all your textbooks, all your classroom teaching and how schools function, all the rules that schools have to follow, they are all based on the education policy. And 2 years ago, in 2020, the government has come up with the national education policy, the new national education policy on from 2020, and gradually they are implementing it. Implementing means how to make it function in schools, how to train teachers for it, how to make textbooks from it. And the national education policy is very similar to what we are doing at Neevam. The kind of education that you are receiving, the kind of ideas that we execute in class. So it is encouraging more of that. Okay. The new national education policy is designed to promote innovation. It is designed to promote creativity. Because of if Indians are so intelligent to create things, to invent things in another country, there shouldn't be anything stopping them from doing the same in their own country. Okay. So this is how innovation works, and this is what we have been trying to do so that we can be more innovative. There was one very interesting, like when we were talking about the small innovations, there was one very interesting innovation that an African had done. So I'll just share it with you.
Gravity left.
Hmm. Interesting, no?
Yes.
What this lamp does is, in the beginning of the day or whenever in the day, you pull one side of the lamp, and that is how it gets powered. Matlab it gets potential energy. You remember we had spoken about potential energy when you raise something at a height. Till the time it is not spilling, till the time it is not pouring, it has that because of the position it is in. The moment you tip the glass or the moment you make it fall, it comes down and you have moving energy, kinetic energy. So that is the same idea that these guys are using to power these lamps. So
So who has invented this?
some African person, I'll have to figure out. Mm, Probably it should be there in this link. Let's see what.
Okay.
Ah, Deciwatt. No, Deciwatt is the firm. Mm, no, I cannot find the name of the person who did it, but yeah, it was somebody from Kenya. Okay, so they built a whole company around it, and now it is like a professional product. Maybe I can search for first gravity lamp. Maybe we'll find it. Okay, Martin Gifford was the person who did it. All right. So yeah, so in third world countries, like in some countries of Africa, the African continent, these kind of gravity lamps were introduced so that there is power even where there is no electrical lines. So if you need electricity, you need the government to provide you electricity, and that obviously was impossible in these kind of places. So what they did is they let them get the power so that they can educate themselves, and if they can educate themselves, then they can solve their own problems instead of depending on some NGO, instead of depending on charity. Because charity, when you do, it has a different problem. So this was another problem that was seen in Africa, that a lot of people were donating things to Africa, food, clothes, everything. Now, what the problem with this is, okay, if you are donating everything, if you are giving them American clothes, if you are giving them American food, or if you are giving them European clothes and European food and stuff like that, then obviously they will stop buying things from their own market, right? If you are getting free food and free clothes, will you buy things from Amravati?
No,
So if you're not buying things from Amravati, will people shops in Amravati get money?
no,
Get money, will they be able to buy new things for their family?
no, sir. They will also not be able to buy it.
It cripples the economic system. And if it cripples the economic system, then your currency gets devaluated. You know how, like, 70 rupees is $1 or 100 rupees is $1 today, like that. The
Yes.
African currency was so much devalued. Just to get a piece of bread, like one packet of bread, you had to use notes that are maybe as high as your thigh, high as your waist. So you had to take that big a bundle of notes and give it to the shopkeeper to buy one packet of bread. So
Okay.
that was the situation in Africa. So people started recognizing this, and gradually all these social organizations, they stopped donating and they started working with these people. And this is an example of the work. So working with Kenya, working in Kenya, so that the Kenyans get a job, so that the Kenyans get money in their pocket and the economic system starts circulating again. They have started inventing these lamps. So even the farthest of villages, anywhere, you can just hang this lamp on a tree and you can start studying under it. You don't even need a house. So this is how innovation works. Okay? There have been a lot of innovations in the world. You can read about it and you can study it. Um, but today, what we are going to do today means in these next few days, um, this will be your homework, your major homework, that you have to first recognize a problem. Past, present, future. So first point, recognize a problem. Two, make notes on the impact of the problem. That means, who is it affecting? Is it affecting Indians? Is it affecting the rich people? Is it affecting the poor people? Is it affecting children? Is it affecting adults? Who is it affecting?
Sir, poor people.
No, no. You have to recognize a problem. I'm not saying recognize the problems that we discussed right now. Okay, we discussed three problems. One was the computer,
Yes.
the other was light, that is Edison's. So this one was Steve Jobs, this one was Edison. Then we discussed the gravity lamp. What was his name? Martin Rutherford. And one more problem that we did not discuss. Oh, two problems that we did not discuss. One is penicillin or antibiotics. So this one was penicillin was. Hold on. Fleming. And the other was free energy. This was Tesla. We'll discuss these two at the end. Okay. So these people recognize the problem. They also recognize who is it affecting, and then they went through it. Okay. So for example, the light was a problem that was recognized by Edison, and it was in the present, and it was affecting everyone, rich, poor, everyone. Computers was a problem that was affecting only the rich. Not everyone can buy a computer, no? So upper middle class and upper class, it was affecting them mostly. Penicillin again was affecting everyone. Gravity lamp is not affecting the rich, it is affecting the poor. Okay, so there
Yes.
are different problems that affect different people, and so that you have to find out, okay, the problem that you are talking about, who is it affecting. So first you have to recognize a problem. So it can be anything. If you don't like how schools are working, if you don't like how if you are going out, then you have to every time fill air in your tires, or you have to go to the shop every day to work. So, like, recognize some problems that are around you, recognize some problems that are in your society or anywhere. Just recognize problems that you don't like, and you wish that if this problem wasn't there, the world would be a better place. So the first time is to recognize the problem. Then the second step is to make notes on its impact. That means, who is it affecting? Is it affecting only your community? So if Nikunji are Sindhi, so maybe it is affecting only the Sindhi community. Or so, for example, Parsis have this ritual that when their elders pass away or anybody in their family passes away, their funeral is very different. You can search for it online and read about it. So if that you feel, if you are a Parsi and if you feel that there is something wrong with this system, something needs to change, then that becomes your problem. And the notes that you make on its impact means that sorry, it will state that it affects the Parsi community mostly. So like that, who is it affecting? Then the third is um, compartmentalizing the problems, or uh, you can say dismantling the problems. So if I tell you that the African people's economy has collapsed, that becomes a big problem, right? It, you cannot figure out where to solve it. Can you tell me two ways to solve the economic problem in Africa? It's very difficult to pinpoint exactly where to start working. So instead of working on it like that, you work on it in factors. Okay, if there is an economic problem in Africa, you have to find out what is its source, what is its cause, what is its what is perpetuating it, means what is keeping it a problem. Because there are a lot of problems which, if they are left alone, they somehow solve themselves, because of the kind of mindset that people have, or because of the way society works, and so on. But there are a lot of problems, if they are left alone, then they start increasing. You don't recognize it, but over a period of time they start increasing. For example, climate change. Right, climate change is a big problem. But if I ask you how to change the how to stop climate change, or how to solve the problem of climate change, you don't know where to start. But if I have to work on it, what do I need to do? Yes, Nikunj. Kedar, Krishna, Kabir, if I have to solve the climate change problem, what do I first need to do?
Stop pollution.
Okay, so you recognize one factor, that is pollution. So pollution is affecting climate change. What else is affecting climate change?
Population.
Very good. Second is population. What else? Kedar, Krishna, Kabir, no answers from you. What is one thing that we keep talking about? Yes, Suhani?
Can you repeat what you said now?
Yeah, so climate change is a big problem, right? That part you
Yes.
understood. So when we think of climate change as one problem, it becomes very difficult to solve that problem. But if we start thinking about climate change as a combination of problems, and we try to find out what are the smaller problems that are leading to climate change, then it becomes easier to solve. So we found out, Nikun said pollution, the second he said was population. Can you tell me more things that are leading to climate change?
Oh,
What happens every time you want to build a house? What happens every time you want to build a farm? What happens every time you want to build a road? What do you have to first do?
sir, we have to first make base.
So to make that base, what do you have to first do? What is disturbing that base that you clear out every time?
Sunlight.
Before cement. So, Kabir, can you put cement on a place that has a lot of grass and animals and nests and trees and stones and up and down levels? What do you have to
No, sir.
first do?
Sir, we have to take out that grass
Right, and
and cut out the tree.
right. So deforestation is another problem. Okay, so like this, if you figure out the anatomy of a problem, if you figure out the things that are making that problem a big problem, then it is easier to work on this, right? So you have to dismantle the problem. Just like you, if your vehicle is not working, you don't know why it is not working. So what does the mechanic first do?
Sir, he checked the engine.
But before checking the engine, what does he do? How does he reach the engine?
Full fitting.
Sorry.
मीन्स वो निकालते हैं ना
हाँ,
इंजन.
निकालते हैं. तो निकालते हैं means you have to first open the vehicle, no?
Yes.
So once you open the vehicle, you can see the engine, you can see the axle, you can see the like if you're driving a four wheeler, then you will be able to see the axle, you will be able to see all the parts of the car, or you will be able to see all the parts of the bike. So that is dismantling the problem. You are opening up the problem and you are seeing, okay, what are the things that are involved in this machine, what are the things that are making the machine work, and if these are the things that are making the machine work, which of these things is not doing their work. So if I see that the fuel injector is putting the fuel properly into the engine, but for some reason the engine is not burning the fuel, so then I know that the problem is in the engine. The tires are good, the shock absorbers are good, the electricity, battery, everything is working, but the fuel is not burning, the petrol is not burning. So that means the problem is in the engine. Now in the engine also, it can be because of the spark plug, or it can be because of the engine itself, right? So you solve it step by step, and that is what is dismantling the problem. Once you have dismantled the problem, you will be choosing your area of work. Let's just erase this so we have space. Hmm. So you have an area of work. Okay, you select whether you want to work on the tire, whether you want to work on the engine, whether you want to work on the spark plug. You figure out what is the problem. If the problem is very big, then there are multiple areas where you can work, and you have to choose between them. You have to select your area of work. Then you will be beginning the solution. Okay, you have to work on the solution. You have to find out how you will work on the solution. And the sixth is, of course, once you start working on the solution, once you start thinking about it, once you start trying different ways, so you will be doing experimentation.
Okay, sir.
So this will be mental or physical, whatever is possible. And the final step will be your presentation.
Sir, physical.
Ha, Krishna, not immediately. First, you have to do all these things. Then you will be doing the experimentation. So, the presentation will involve all these things. Steps 1 to 6, and after that, you have to come up with a solution, again, which is either a practical working model or just a model. Working or non-working, sorry. Okay. And this has to be presented. Okay. So you will be presenting two things. What are the two things? Nikun, Suhani, Krishna, Kabir. What are the two things that you will be presenting on Science Day?
Sir, what, sir?
The petrol and diesel.
You have to present these two things. This is point number 1 and this is point number 2. You have to present what you have done, the research that you have conducted, and the solution that you have found.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And the solution should have a model as well as your chart where you are discussing all these things. All right. Our time is up. I will put the dates for the Science Day in your group. Do you already know? Has anyone discussed the dates for the Science Day with you?
No, sir.
Okay. So I'll put it up.
No, sir.
All right. I'll put it up in the WhatsApp group. Quickly write down this in your notebook, please, because this is what you'll have to do.
Sir, you have share screen.
Sir, I have to take a screenshot. I will write it.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Sir, can you? Sir,
Yes.
can you also group because I cannot see the screen.
Oh, okay. I will take a screenshot and I'll put it up in the WhatsApp group. Fine. I'll put it up in the classroom.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir. Sir.